Welcome to the .Ugly Truth Podcast, where we speak to some amazing people who have done some amazing things. But as you know, everything that glitters is not so gold, especially when it comes to reaching your levels of success. So I'm making this video to let you guys know that the podcast that you're getting ready to listen to, or that you're getting ready to see, is going to look a little different than what we normally do. Why? Because I did something really ugly when we recorded the podcast with Leek. I forgot to put on the interview camera. All right. So what that means is normally it's a split screen, and I'm in the split screen and he's in the split screen. Well, on this episode, it's just going to be Leek because I forgot to add the other camera to the interview. That's my bad. It's my fault. But maybe you guys are tired of looking at me. Maybe, you just want to see Leek and his awesome looks and his nice skin. He has some really nice skin. Fellas, take care of your skin. Take care of your skin. The ladies like it. Either way, because we are the Ugly brand, I chose not to ask Leek for another interview because I know, one, that his time is valuable, and also so is mine. But two, I need you guys to see the ugly that goes on behind the scenes. And so this time we're going to run this interview, but it's going to be a little different. You're going to hear me. You're just not going to see me. Okay. I did correct the problem for the next interview, and it's going to be great, but I don't want to cut it out. And I, like I said, I had the opportunity to ask him for another interview, but I want you guys to see and understand that even though I did this ugly, the product still gets out and the message still gets out. Okay. And so I hope you guys still take the opportunity. Well, I guess if you're listening to me now, you have taken the opportunity to go ahead and listen to the remainder of this here interview. All right. The gems are still dropped. The information is still given to you. Okay. I always appreciate your support. Okay. Thank you guys for loving me and supporting this ugly brand. That's it. That's it. That's all. What's going on? Welcome to the .Ugly Truth Podcast, where we talk with some amazing people that have done some amazing things. But as you know, as we always get to this level of success, there's always an ugly truth. The Ugly Truth Podcast is sponsored by The Ugly Brand. Go ahead and get your gear at www.theuglybrand.com. All right. Today I got a special guest. This one is actually my first one from the DMV area. I just say you're a DMV mogul. I'd like to say that. Leek, the owner, brand owner, designer, see all of the above of the brand Eat, which is a local brand here for the DMV area. However, it has blown up and gone to a whole nother level, but I believe it started here in the DMV. Leek, I am so glad and honored that you're here to talk with me. I'm actually aspiring to be where you are with your with my brand. So I never even thought you was going to respond to the DM. I ain't going to lie to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, King. Absolutely. So first things first, tell me where, because I read a post. You had a post, yes, I think it was yesterday. And it was a letter of your resignation from wherever you were working at that current place. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about how the brand started. First of all, what does the EAT stand for?
So EAT stands for Elevate All the Time.
Sweet.
I started using EAT around my senior year, or no, my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
No, like my sophomore year of college, I think, or freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
I just started using it just, as like a motto, just eat, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But it didn't really mean nothing. It just meant eat at that point. It didn't even mean elevate all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing photography, and it was how I was branding myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like my page was always AllHomage. It was always AllHomage photography, but I would just hashtag like eat stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I graduated, and I needed a watermark, so the logo became my watermark at first. And
Mm-hmm.
I put up a bunch of like stickers and stuff around the city. And after a while, my friends were like, "Man, you should make some T-shirts." So
Right.
then started putting a watermark on T-shirts, and then it just blew up as a clothing line. But I started off just in photography, and with quitting my jobs, it just got to a point where I was losing money by going to work because my phone was
Mhm.
always ringing. People was trying to buy shirts and stuff, you know. So that's how I ended up quitting my job.
Sweet. So, where were you working while this was all going down?
I was working at this joint on 11th in Pennsylvania. It's called Elephant and Castle,
Mhm.
and then I was working. I worked there in the morning, and then on 9th in Pennsylvania was Fogo de Chao, the steakhouse. I worked there at night.
Okay. So you say you went to you were in school. What school did you go to?
Virginia State.
Okay, Virginia State. Awesome. And I assume your major was photography?
No, not at all.
Oh wow.
I didn't start doing photography until my junior year when I met. It was this girl I was dating. I met her. She had a camera, and I just
Mhm.
started messing with her camera, and I just fell in love with it. But I was just there for journalism, and so I had to teach myself photography for real because I didn't really have like enough time at that point to take the big photography classes.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
just go on YouTube or just go out every day and just mess with the camera.
Nice. 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 So, okay, college. So, all right, tell me a little bit back though to your childhood. You were born and raised in DC?
Born and
Okay.
raised in DC my whole life. Yeah, me and my mother. It's just been me and my mother.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you were you always like were you do you because I feel like you're an artistic person, like
Oh
like
yeah.
art. You know what I mean? So is that something that you've always done as a child, or?
It's crazy because like the first like profession I known of was a photographer. My mother used to always have like a bunch of disposables. My mother wasn't into photography or anything like that, but
Mhm.
I'm a '90s baby, so we kept the disposables around, and I
Right.
would always pick them up and mess with the flash and stuff. She used to always tell me I was gonna be a photographer,
Mhm.
but she never like got me a camera or anything. So it kind of came full circle later on in life when I met, the girl I was dating, and she had a
Mhm.
camera, and I actually started doing photography.
Right.
So it kind of came full circle as far as like my childhood, like in arts. I was never into art for real. I was never into design. I never thought
Mhm.
I would have a clothing line. I
Mhm.
was a sport. I was big on sports. You know what I'm saying? I was a sports and I was a funny dude. I was one of those type of guys, like almost like a jock. But
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
also the type of person that was cool with everybody in my school. I probably knew everybody's name. I
Right.
probably sat with everybody doing lunch. You know what I'm saying? No matter who
Right.
you was. So
Okay.
and that's how the brand kind of really expanded real
Mhm.
fast because I know a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I wasn't very popular, you know, in DC before Eat, but I always knew a lot of people. I always knew the right people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
Right.
I always just been a cool dude. Everybody know me as like just a cool dude. So I never used to draw or paint or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. But now
Mhm.
I'm into photography now. I'm into DJing now. I'm trying to make music now, and I design. So I'm a late bloomer to the whole art world.
Right. Right. So okay. So your friends when you got the watermark, you designed the watermark yourself, right?
Nah. So
Okay.
it was a thing where a bunch of websites and stuff was stealing my pictures. So,
Mhm.
people that was following me, they seen that, and they was just trying to help me out. So my man Mike, who I grew up with, he
Mhm.
told me one day he just hit me on Twitter. He was like, "Yeah, put this on your pictures," and it was the
Mhm.
Eat logo. You know what I'm saying? And he just gave it to me for free, and I was like, "Damn, how much I owe you? Like, let me pay you something."
Right.
So I sent him like a cash app or whatever, but I started putting on my pictures, and eventually I started printing out stickers and stuff,
Right.
and then putting stickers all up around everywhere. So, and then I had to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Once I first put "Eat" on the shirt,
Mhm.
it didn't have a meaning yet. When I was using my photography, it was just "Eat."
Right.
But like when I put it on the shirt, people was like, "What does "Eat" mean?" And I just elevate all the time.
Right. So putting it on a shirt, did you when you first did it? Because I'm new to the apparel space and to the industry. And when you had it, you say you put it on a shirt. Did you start off with patches, or was it screen print? Did you do embroidery
I just
first?
started off
Like,
with some regular heat press patches. You know what I'm saying? The
mm-hmm.
cheapest way on some blank. What was it? Not not, not new level. Is it
Next
new
level.
level? Yeah, next
Yeah.
level tees. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So and I was just had my heat press. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so you were printing them and everything yourself.
Yeah, I was making all the, like early on. I was making all the shirts. So probably like the first 2 years, all the shirts like touched my hands.
Right,
But now I had like a manufacturer and everything, so I don't make anything.
right, right, right. Okay, so we go from college and friends are like, okay, you need to make this a thing. So you like, all right, put on a t-shirt, make some stickers. How do we get to the place to where, because now I know that you have um there's a I want is it a I want to say a brand, a collab with New Balance.
Yeah,
So how long is it from when we started the brand to where it just blows up? What seemed like out of nowhere in my, because I'm not a
yeah,
huge, believe it or not, I'm not a fashionista. And it's crazy because like it's like when you, I'm like you, I'm not in the artistic world. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I got into my business and with my brand is the Do It Ugly. So basically it encourages people to do things ugly. Just start. Don't, progress over progression. And it don't have to be pretty, it don't have to be beautiful. You just need to start. You just need to do it ugly. And
Start with a start.
I got involved with mine, started off like trying to do credit repair with like a, in a mentorship. And then it just turned into something else. So how do you go from, okay, now we just heat pressing in the basement or, in the room, to now we're in stores, DTLR, things like that?
So for real, I just tell people like I was making noise in the
Mhm.
city. You know what I'm saying? It's their job to pay attention to what's going on.
Mhm.
So Shoe City will always shout out to Shoe City. They will always like try to get in touch with me so I could so they could just meet me and know who I was because everybody was wearing my clothes.
Mhm.
And they don't just sell shoes, they sell clothes too. So
Right.
it was like, what's going on? How this dude on the street with no store selling more clothes than us?
Mhm.
So Shoe City was always trying to reach out to me, DTLI, kind of, sort of. And eventually I just like went up Shoe City with my
Mhm.
man. And they had a meeting with him, because he was a DJ, my man DJ Steve. They had a meeting
Mhm.
with him, and I just went to go with him. You know what I'm saying? Just to go. And eventually, one of the like head people at Shoe City that was looking for me, she walked into me and was like, like what? Like how did y'all get him here? That's
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
crazy. They was talking about me though. They wasn't even talking about my man. And so from there we just started talking. I was just making noise in the city. Like I didn't know anybody email or any numbers to call, anybody
Mhm.
for ask for no favors or anything like that.
Right.
And then next thing you know, the first thing she said to me, Nicole, one of the head people at Shoe City, the first thing she said was she was like, "You want to make a shoe with New Balance?" And I was like, "What?" Like I
Wow.
just met her, I didn't even know who she was. And
Right.
so New Balance have to tap in with the DMV because we wear
Right.
New Balance more than everybody else. So
Right.
New Balance called Shoe City like, "What's going on in the city?" They like this Eat thing going crazy. They said we got to meet them. So it was the same way.
Mhm.
Met with them. First time meet with them, I probably designed all three shoes that we released
Mhm.
in like 10 minutes. Like what I'm saying, just right there.
Right.
Cause it was simple. It was simple to me. I was trying to do like some real big crazy ideas, but the way they was looking at me, I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Right. Right.
Y'all just want some simple stuff. So I just made three shoes right there. And they
Mhm.
said, all right, we gonna drop this first one. Let's do 180 pairs or something like that.
Mhm.
Those sold out as soon as the store opened up. And then they was like, okay, well, let's do the second one. It's
Mhm.
1,500 pairs. And I did my first shoe probably like 3 years in.
Mhm. Mhm.
Or I was probably just about to hit like the 3 year mark when I did my first shoe.
Right.
My second shoe dropped the summer after that. My third shoe dropped the fall after that summer. So I dropped three shoes in 2 years.
Wow.
And they
What does
all
that
sold
feel
out.
like, man?
It didn't even hit me yet. Like it's surreal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's surreal, but I think I feel like I'm gonna feel like it's gonna hit me later on. I'm gonna get more of my flowers later on. You know what I'm saying? Once people kind
Right.
of really get to see, like get to look back on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like
Mhm.
everybody in the moment, or even some of my peers, like it just became like a normal thing. Like it's not a topic of conversation for real no more.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
feel like later on, it's definitely DC history. People won't be talking about it. It's gonna be like a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that goes down in the history books. I want to be 1,000% honest and say, I wasn't able to get a pair. But I don't even know if they came out in
Yeah,
children's though. And kids, you know, the kids knew 992s and stuff a
they
little
came out in
different.
kids.
They
They came
did.
out in kids. So I'm a football coach. So all my players have them and everything.
You
So
now who do you coach for?
the Beacon House Falcons
Okay,
in
okay,
Northeast. It's the same program that I came up in playing
okay.
for. It helped save my life. So I went back three
Man,
years ago, and
absolutely.
I've been coaching ever since.
What position did you play?
I was a quarterback.
Okay.
I played all the way up until 12th grade.
Yeah, I used to play for an all women's flag football team down at Deanwood, and
Oh yeah, I used to see y'all out there. I used to live right by Daywood.
yeah, used to play for
Yeah.
Lady Elite. So I used to play corner. I went from playing receiver, and then you got some younger girls women who came in who was able to keep up because I didn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Eventually to
Be
playing
like that.
DB, yeah. Eventually playing the DB, and then on to the punter, and then I started doing the brand and everything. So it was time anyway. But that's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope. I love, and I have seen you on social media just giving back the uniforms and everything like that for the football team. So I love to see that giving back because our community we need that. Our children need that.
for sure, for sure. I'm just glad God able to use me. So I
Absolutely,
don't really, it's nothing to me.
absolutely.
That's the stuff, help me build good credit, not only in the community, but with God. I'm trying to go to
Mhm.
heaven.
Mhm.
I can't see myself out here being selfish. You know what I'm saying, or just overlooking
Mhm.
some issue that I could easily help.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a word right there, man. That's a bar because I think that I was just speaking with somebody today and he was he's trying to find his way back to just himself. And he
Hmm.
was saying something about, the things that I'm doing and with my brand and things like that. And he said that he was trying to rebrand himself and trying to get, doing apparel stuff like that. And I told him, I said, he kept referring back to money and finances and money and stuff like that. I'm just like, bro, when you get into this kind of stuff, just my small opinion, it has to be more than just the financial aspect. There has to be a purpose and behind what you're doing. And I can honestly say
Right.
the reason why my brand is growing the way that it's growing is simply because the belief that people have in it, but just the belief that I have in it. And
Yeah.
so, I know that it does other people more good than it even does me.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I mean, but you can't. You was right though. You can't really focus on the money part of it. The money
Right,
gonna come and go. It's gonna fluctuate. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So you really just gotta focus on the legacy and why you do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're not in, are you now? So you still here in the DMV area or you travel
I'm
back
in
and forth?
California right now. Yeah, I'm in California right now for
Okay.
probably until Christmas. But
Okay.
probably in the new year, I'll just be over here permanently for good until next football season.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah,
dope.
and I'll be back. I'll be back to coach my
That's
eight
dope.
boy. They're gonna be nine next year, so I'll be back to coach my 9-year-olds.
Wow. I love that, man. It's a whole level of dedication to come
Yeah,
back,
thank you, thank you. And
Mhm.
I just try, be a good example. Just show kids, they just gotta see it. I don't have to speak to every kid. Kids are
Right.
smart. They talk to each other, but just showing them that I'm there, and them
Right.
being able to go on their phones or their parents,
Mhm.
tell them about how they seen me somewhere or see me on TV. That just let them know
Mhm.
that it's possible. They just gotta see it, man.
Right.
And
Right.
I was fortunate to be able to see it in the program that I was in. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? One of my coaches was Kevin Durant's father, so
Mm.
I remember sleepovers with KD, and then him going to high school, and we seeing him go to college,
Mhm.
and then next thing I know, like he getting drafted. So I seen
Mhm.
success, and
Right.
the kids just got to see it. They just got to know that it's right there. It can happen. It's real.
Yeah.
Um, Even like Aurelia has been, or the Marvin Austins, or the Vernon Davises. Like I was able to go to those guys' games and actually see them.
Mhm.
So it was real to me. I always knew I was gonna be somebody. I feel like because I seen success in real life. I seen people do it before me, and I was
Mhm.
always the type of person like if anybody ever did it, I could do it. I
Right.
ain't have I was always that confident, especially as a child. Like
Right.
extra confident, like almost naive. You know what I'm saying? Like if anybody ever did it, then it's a piece of cake. I never used to worry about college because I felt like, no disrespect, but I was smarter than some of my high school
Mm-hmm.
teachers. I'm like, if they got degrees, I know I'm gonna get a degree. I'm not
Right.
tripping. Everybody was like, man, we got to go to college. The work will be hard. Like, can't be that hard. People graduate every day.
Right.
I'm gonna be one of them. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Right.
So I always counted myself in. I never counted myself out or, said I couldn't do something. Anything I always told myself, I'm good at everything I do. I just don't
Mm-hmm.
do everything. And that's still my motto to this day. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be great at it.
Right. That
I
that
just don't do
level
everything.
that level of confidence. I think that a lot of people lack confidence. And for
For
whatever
sure.
reason, there's always those traumas and things like that, that people go
Yeah, a
through.
lot of people. Was taught confidence backwards. They try to get it from the outside world. They try to get
Mhm.
it from everybody else. And confidence is all about you and yourself.
Mhm.
That's literally all what it is when you're not even thinking about you know what anybody else has going on or what
Mhm.
anybody else thinks. And it's hard to obtain. Because a lot of, like I said, we used to have a confidence from praise. We used to gain confidence from being praised.
Mhm.
And confidence don't come with praise sometimes. You just gotta
Mhm.
have it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you say it was just you and your mom. So no siblings?
I got a bigger brother I met when I was 5, and I have a
Mhm.
little brother. On my mom's side, he's not my mom's child, but she raised him, and
Right.
we've been family since he was 1 month old. So that's my little brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I
And
love
then
to
I never lived with my brothers, but my big cousin, we like
Mhm.
3 years apart. He always lived with me. So technically, I'm my mom's only child, but I grew up. It was me, my mom, my cousin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what I love to hear about your story, so I assume that dad wasn't around.
Nah, my father. So I met early on. He wasn't. I met my father when I was
Mhm.
5 years old. My father, my father introduced me to my brother.
Mhm.
I met my brother. My father took me probably like 2 weeks after I first met him. He took me. My mother, my mother let him like take me out
Mhm.
on the
Mhm.
weekend, and we went to my big brother's football game. I didn't know I had a big brother. As soon as we walked in the games, number 88, just catch a touchdown. He was
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, that's your brother," and that's when I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to play football. I ain't even
Mhm.
meet my brother yet." I didn't even know kids could play football. I was 5 years old. So
Mhm.
the next year I started playing football and everything. So me and my father introduced me to like football because before that my mom just had me at the park shooting hoops. I was just
Right.
playing basketball. And so me and my father, that was cool, but it was kind of rocky early on
Mhm.
because I don't know. It's just like something with being like a kid and not understanding. But as I got
Right.
older, became an adult, became a man myself. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Things got easier with me and my father. We cool as hell now. Like that's my dog.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it just took me to become a man to understand him better, and to be able
Right.
to say, you know what, he was doing the best he could, given his circumstances and his situation. So,
Right.
I ain't mad at him at all. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, he don't miss nothing. Whether it's a
Right.
pop up shop, I'm on the news. No matter what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying. If it's an address for it, he gonna be there. He gonna drop
Mhm.
everything, be there and support me. You know what I'm saying. He do.
Right.
He lived his life. He lived his life for me and my brother now. So he
Right.
getting all that time back.
So I appreciate that because so often, especially in our community, we're tagged with fatherless, right? Our our
Yeah,
our,
and it,
our black
yeah.
men are.
It's a lot of good men that try. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They probably messed up early on and try.
Right.
And that resentment is tough to get over.
Right.
And I'm just glad I was able to get over it. And I know it's a couple people still can't get over that, but it's like, man,
Mhm.
as I become a man and learn more about my father and the circumstances and the time where he was raised and how he never had a dad, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? He was scared, you know what I'm saying? But right now, but since then, he been trying to be active in my life. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt. All I can, that's a lot of those people that still have that resentment against their dads. They just gotta let it go and
Right.
just clean slate. You a grown man now. Like can't get none of that time back. He can't be at none of them games he missed. None of
Mhm.
that. So you might as well
Mhm.
just get over it because that ain't fair.
Right. Right.
That ain't fair if somebody trying to love you. You know what I'm saying? Especially your blood.
Right. I think that sometimes, especially as children, we expect our parents to be perfect, and it's just not a thing. We have to
Mm-hmm.
understand that they have traumas and things where, they came from too. You mentioned your father didn't have his dad. So
Yeah.
it's like now we're expecting this man to be a dad, and he didn't have one, so he doesn't know what that looks like. And I
Right.
think that sometimes we don't give each other enough grace. Um,
Mm-hmm.
kudos to you for even in spite of, not in spite of, but even in your level of success, to be
Yeah.
able to look past. Because some people might be like, "Well, dang, why you here now?"
Yeah. It was never that because my father
Right.
was, my father picked me up for football practice every day in high school. You know what I'm saying? Let me
Mhm.
drive home. He told me how to drive. So it was like he probably wasn't there. Teach me how to tie my shoes, but he told me how to drive and things like that.
Mhm.
And anything I ever needed to talk about, he was always there for me. Clear, what I'm saying, clear mind, no judgment.
Mhm.
My father been through a lot, and so certain situations in my life, because I was locked up at one point facing 5 years, and my father, he know about that life, so he was, kind of, he was there for me, kind of,
Mhm.
keeping me calm and everything, consoling me. So I just take my hat off to him for not giving up, having that second win, and
Mhm.
not counting it out, because what I'm saying, like I said, I definitely ain't make it easy for him sometimes when he was just trying to get through to me and everything,
Right.
but he stayed at it, and eventually, what I'm saying, it worked. I used to be scared to call my dad. I
Mhm.
ain't even want to talk to my dad on the phone. Like I would ask my mother for something, she said, "Ask your father," and I'd just say, "Man, forget it."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now, I call my dad for anything.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing, and I love to hear about that kind of. I don't, because I don't know much. I don't know anything about that. My parents are still married. My dad is my best friend. But I know how tough it can be for sometimes our families and our children, um, when both parents may not be super present. But that forgiving spirit of you, it definitely.
And one thing I can say though is
Mhm.
like because like early on, I didn't even it didn't even phase me. It didn't even cross my mind because
Mhm.
so my little brother, I told you my mom raised him since he was a kid, 1 month old. His father, when I was just born and my father wasn't present, raised me. So
Mhm.
I always had like a male figure around. But I think the the thing with me was early on, it was just all right. Some people got, they see their dads every day and they
Mhm.
cool with their dads. And that made me just not even like my dad because my dad wasn't there every day. But and at the end of the day, I felt like it wasn't even about that. And I was just kind of being like a brat
Mhm.
because, I feel like any child, more important than seeing their mom and dad together, they got to see a happy mom and a happy dad.
Right.
And my parents always, gave me that. I never
Right.
had to see, none of those conflicts or anything like that. I had a happy mom and a happy dad, and that's how I
Right.
was a happy kid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I
I
feel like that
always say
was more
that.
important than just seeing them together because I know a lot of my friends, they parents split up and everything, and
Mhm.
they took it harder than me, not even having my dad around,
Mhm.
and that affected them even more. I'm not
Mhm.
saying like that's the route, but because I believe in black families,
Right.
staying together, staying tight knit. But at the end of the day, you know, I feel like kids gotta see their parents happy.
Right.
It never bothered me that my parents wasn't together. I just knew that they was happy, so
Mm.
I
Yeah. I
was cool
always
with
say
it.
that. A healthy mom and a healthy dad is how we raise healthy children.
Hmm.
It don't it doesn't. That's why sometimes I get so confused when some people stay married. I'm staying for the kids. Like y'all, what y'all teaching these
Yeah,
kids?
sometimes
Kids are
it's
not
not like
stupid.
the best thing. Yeah,
Yeah, like they know it. Like they might not be able to articulate it, but they
yeah.
know. Like they feel it.
Y'all don't like each other.
Yeah, like y'all sleeping in separate rooms, but y'all talking about you staying
Mhm.
together for the kids. Like what y'all doing? Now we teaching our
Yeah.
daughters or our sons that that's how it's supposed to be. It's not how it's supposed to go.
And it
Anyway.
was always lit. Like once you get older, like
Mhm.
middle school, high school, it's always lit being able to say, "All right, I'm going with my dad this weekend."
Right.
It's gonna be a little bit different over there.
Right.
I'm gonna be a hood rat this weekend.
Dad was probably a little bit more chill. You could be a little
Yeah.
ratchet.
I was my father's side of the family, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole different side than my mom's side of the family. So I was with my
Right.
cousins and stuff like that, going to go-go's, things like that,
Right.
having fun. So it was
Right.
good having, that heavy, strong discipline and then that kind of like street sense or like having
Mhm.
to grow up. and learn things. You know what I'm saying? I had the perfect balance because my mom
I'm
was an
gonna say
educator.
balance.
My mom was an educator, 25 years DCPS, so she ain't play that. And then like
Mm-hmm.
my dad, he was my dad.
Right. Dad,
So
Pops was the
I have
homie, man.
two different people that what I'm saying, they day and night. My mom, my dad.
Yeah.
I'm both of them put together. I'm a smart person. I know how to move. I know how to
Mm-hmm.
move. The right way in certain situations, in certain environments.
Right. Right. And same here. My mom is she's the disciplinarian. My dad, not so much. You know.
Yeah, my dad like never even
Yeah.
yelled at me,
Yeah.
put his hands on me, none of that.
Yeah. You know, my dad tried to beat me like one time. He cried before I did and told me to go home. I was like, dang, dog, this how this works? Never tried it again. My mom,
Yeah,
on the other hand, she ain't had no trouble.
yeah, my mother wasn't playing that.
Yeah, my mom the same way. You know, my dad was,
My dad was my friend. Yeah, my mother
yeah,
always
my
told me
dad was my
I'm
homie.
not
My
trying to be
my
your friend.
dad, had lost his mom at 17. So,
Hmm.
he was raised himself from that age. So,
Yeah,
versus my mom, military family, stern education, education, education. My mom just did
yep.
not. It
My
wasn't
mother
much
didn't play
leeway.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. But I always knew she
everything
was
was a
always gonna be
privilege.
there though. You know?
Everything was a privilege for me. I had to
Oh
earn
yeah.
everything I did through school,
Yeah,
even like
everything
playing
depended on
sports and
school.
all that. Yeah,
Yep. School and attitude. You can go to school, get good grades, but my mom used to always tell me,
keep
like,
that
you would
house
come up to this
clean.
school and it's your fault.
Yeah,
No. So that's dope, man. All right, so we're in LA now. So what
yeah,
what now for the brand? Where are we going? What else we trying to do? We done got a deal with New Balance. You made some shoes with them. So wait, you say you dropped 3 already. So they sold out? Like you can't get no more?
yeah. They all sold out. You can find some of them. They got a couple sizes on StockX and Goat.
I don't like stuff.
Resale. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you can find them. I haven't seen them in any stores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. So what's next? Because I know that like I said, you have a lot of the support from the DMV area.
yeah,
And Wale, I know Wale is from the DMV area. So, what? I know you now. You guys have done. You say you get into the music space, right?
yeah.
Okay, so are you like rapping? You like R&B? Keep
Um,
sweat.
I do everything. You know what I'm saying? I
You
haven't
be out here
recorded
keep
in a long
sweating.
time.
You know how to keep sweat.
Nah, nah. I
Oh,
ain't recorded in a long time, and people that have heard my songs, they want me to record more.
mm-hmm.
They're like, man, just record more. And I'm just a timing type person. Right now, I'm just
Right.
trying to learn the industry. I want to be able to sign producers and artists from the city, so we can
Okay.
get better recognition out here. But thanks to Wale, I've been able to, see the industry for
Mm-hmm.
hands on. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? I've been in those big private meetings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like every step of the way he had me there. So I've been learning, all there is to it. And
Wow.
especially how things are supposed to go, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now he like a superstar, so
Right.
it's not I know it's gonna be different, working with
Mm-hmm.
an artist from the ground up, but still being able to see that and be able to be there,
Right.
it's like it's amazing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the like a big internship for real.
Yeah. I was
So
ready to say
right
that's
now
got to
we
be
getting ready for
surreal.
tour. Yeah, right now we getting ready for tour, and I'm gonna go around the country with him and learn about the tour life. And while
Mm-hmm.
I'm on tour, I'm just networking, still pushing the brand,
Right.
trying to take over the country. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Right.
doing it the grassroots way. A lot of people, especially this day and age, they just trying to blow up online,
Mm-hmm.
get to a bunch of celebrities, and hype. And I feel like once Instagram, like died out in like 2 years, you gotta have word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? I always
Right.
looked at it as like the internet broke. I want to still be alright.
Right.
So I just try to get to the people. The more people I meet, the better the
Mm-hmm.
brand does. It's hard for people to deny me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, once they give me 10 seconds and just tell them what it's all about, what I'm
Right.
doing.
Right. Yeah. I'm learning that. It's crazy because when I dropped my brand, I dropped it July 17th, 16th of this year, and I only ordered like 25 t-shirts because
Hmm.
I didn't. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't believe that it was gonna be what it's becoming,
Hmm.
and I oversold crazy. And then it was hoodie season. And so I was, getting ready to drop the hoodies, and my Instagram had gotten hacked the day
Yeah.
before. And I went from when I sold t shirts, probably about 70, 80 units, to when I dropped the hoodies, I only sold 13 hoodies.
Okay.
And it was a lesson for me because I was so dependent on Instagram.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I'm in a community where a lot of folks, know me and know my brand and everything like that. But I'm like, yo, it's all about the community because
Yeah.
technology gonna be what it's gonna be. And I don't care what anybody says. Technology will never be 100%.
Yeah.
I just don't believe that it will be. But when you have a community, you don't need that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You just gotta show up.
Yep. It's times
So,
where I drop stuff. It's times where I drop stuff, and
mhm,
I don't post nothing,
mhm,
or I don't send an email out, and it's orders coming through.
mhm.
Like people just checking the website,
Right,
or I just have to send an email out. I wouldn't even have to post on Instagram,
right.
you know, because Instagram be acting funny anyway. Little
Yeah, they
algorithms and
shady,
stuff.
man.
Back in the day, everybody used to see everything. Now
Right.
they pick what they get to show you.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I learned that. And I've only been in the industry since July, and like I told you, I never could even like yourself. I never imagined myself in an apparel space. Like the most you would get
Yeah,
out of me is some dope shoes. I love shoes, but like
yeah.
if it came to like spending money on like clothes, I'm like, man, what you say,
See,
$75 for some jeans? That's a nah.
I was always with that. You know what I'm saying? Like my
Mhm.
whole life, I don't even know how I did it. Like going to go-go's, I always had new outfits. I used
Mhm.
to always hustle for money, like some type of way.
Right.
I used to always dress nice. My father, when
Mhm.
people used to see me that grew up with my father, they say, "Boy, your father was a fly." He said, "Fly dude." We could always dress. The first thing people always said since I was
Mhm.
a kid, people always told me about how my father was dressing.
Right.
Then I lived with my mother, so I seen her like dressing well. My
Right.
mother always dressed nice. My
Right.
mother was like best dressed in high school.
Right.
My father, you know what I'm saying, he would have finished. I'm sure he would have been the same. And then I was I was the same thing. My yearbook, I was best dressed. But
Mhm.
I ain't never think like, I'm gonna have a clothing line. I'm gonna be dressing everybody else up.
Right.
And then my parents never told me how to dress. They never used to dress me. Like
Right.
around first, second grade, I was picking. I remember like picking my own clothes out, or being
Right.
able to go in the store and having a budget. My mom was saying, add it up. Don't go over this. So
Right.
sometimes, I spend it all on one thing. And she'd be like, all
Mhm.
right, that's on you. And there'd be a
Mhm.
pair of jeans or something. But I always been like that. So
Yeah.
it was achieved, not conceived. I just never thought I would be like running a business with it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Same here. Well, not same because I don't want to say I was always like the best dressed. I went to private school, so I wore uniforms. I went to Riverdale Baptist, so
Oh,
you know
I bet.
we wore uniforms. And after a while, when you got to wear the same shoes all the time, like you
Yeah,
know,
y'all was. See, I always found a way to bend the rules.
oh
But
yeah.
I was a quarterback too, so we wore uniform at McKinley Tech, but I used to remix mine a little
Mhm.
different. In dress down days, I used to go crazy.
Oh yeah. See, we had our little dress down days. Yeah, like Fridays or something like that, like a Friday out of the month or something like that.
Yeah,
But then
homecoming,
at
all
our
of that.
school, like you couldn't wear if it was too tight and this, that, and the other, so on and so forth. It was nuts. But
Mhm.
now I'd say even now I wouldn't say I'm a huge fashionista. I have a style and it's
Yeah.
mine. But I'm still not somebody who will go and drop like a G on some shoes because I have to like mentally prepare for the
Hmm.
fact that that's what I'm doing. But maybe like it will be different, when my brand blows up or something like that. I don't know. I still want to shop at like Target. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. Stay down.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I don't
Like
know.
for me, it kind of motivated me. Sometimes it kind of motivated me.
Mhm.
Like sometimes I get in that mode where it's like, man, I'm about to save, save, save.
Mhm.
And then sometimes I just look at something and it's just like, man,
I gotta have that.
nah, just like do it, bro,
Right.
and do it because you're a hustler. You can get it right
Right.
back. You
Right.
can get it back sooner than you think,
Right.
and you're gonna work. You just gonna work. Just work for it. You know what I'm saying? Early
Right.
on, my whole mindset, and I might go back to it because it used to just sound bad to me, but man, it used to work for me. Like you know, I always thought I always say I have to spend money to get money, and then
Mhm.
at the
Mhm.
same token,
Mhm.
it's like spend money to get money, and then like the other thing I used to say was like I don't save, I just make more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I can't, like I'm not good at saving money, so I just make more money.
Mhm.
Like if I'm not if I'm not having enough of my savings or whatever at the end of the month, that means I just need to make more.
Right.
Not
Right.
save, not save more, not budget more.
Right.
Make more. So you can
Yeah.
live your lifestyle and still get your have your, saving goals down pat.
Right.
Kind of,
Right.
that's how I used to motivate myself. And then I don't know what happened to me. I got into the whole no, you need to stop, save,
Mhm.
invest. Nah, man, go crazy, make more money. Just run it up. Keep running it
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
Keep
Just keep
being
running the
keep being
play.
inspired. Yeah,
Yep. Keep running the
keep
play.
hustling. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I think I asked this, but then I ain't let it go because then we started talking about something else. What's next for the brand?
So for the brand, I'm out here in Cali just trying to
Mhm.
expand. So I'm
Mhm.
doing everything with still DJing. Everything I do in DC, I do out here. I take pictures, I
Mhm.
sell clothes, I'm doing pop up shops, I'm
Mhm.
DJing. But the main focus for me, like just bouncing back from the pandemic, is just like getting all my ducks in order,
Mhm.
gaining that capital so I can just get my store. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never
Absolutely.
been granted. I never been granted a loan or anything by a
Mhm.
bank, and it's crazy how I always been denied. You know what I'm saying? But I don't cry about it. I don't ever cry over money. It's just like I said, make more money so you can just buy your store straight up. You
Right.
don't have to worry about a loan. So that's what
Right.
I'm doing now. I'm focused on that. Focused on buying me a house for my personal self. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I'm just just doing the right thing.
Mhm.
I'm just looking and then just still looking for more risk to take.
There it is. Looking for more risk to take. A lot of people don't know how to say that. A lot of people are so afraid to say that, and you just said that so comfortably.
Yeah,
Just looking for more risk to take. You know how it is. Just trying to find me some risk.
that's how
Hey,
you
what you doing
win.
today, man? About to go find me some risk to take. What you doing?
Yeah, I'm about to risk it today.
About to risk it all. I'm risking it all today. I'm about to
Yeah.
risk it all. Wow, man. So you mentioned something about manufacturers. Are your
Mhm.
manufacturers in the States?
So one of them is,
Mm-hmm.
but not the factory.
Right.
It's just he's here in the states, but he has his factory over in India.
Right.
And
Right.
then I have different manufacturers that I never met over in
Mm-hmm.
China,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So
Right.
they all over the place. I use a couple different people.
Nice. Okay. Man, it's I feel like I was talking to a homie today, like, cause we from the area, so it's like, yeah, we chopping it up. Um, I didn't really notice with the brand. Like I said, I'm not super into the fashion space. Um, but I did notice your brand. A lot of folks would start wearing around the football field and the DMV, well, DCE lies where I play football, Deanwood and stuff like that. I'm like, man, what is this all about? This is when it first started coming out because I'm just oblivious to that kind of stuff. And I'm
Right.
like, man, so now I am at a place where I'm able to, sit here and actually have a conversation with you. So I appreciate you taking the time out and speaking with me. I know over there, you guys are 3 hours behind here. I don't even know what time it is here because I can't see my
Yeah.
phone. I'm trying to do the right thing and not look at my phone because I don't even know where it is.
It's 7 o'clock, 7:10.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I appreciate you, King, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you too. I appreciate you for having me. This is cool.
Absolutely. And, giving back to these young boys out here. I've seen or started hearing some of the saddest stuff, when our babies are starting to get taken away
Hmm.
from some things that are just happening in the streets, and it stinks. But just to know that there are people out here like yourself, much like yourself, who are showing them like I'm from here, and this is where I'm
Yeah,
at, and this is where you can go.
for
And you
sure.
coming back and committing to that, man, like that's crazy. It's not crazy, but it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't see it a lot, especially like
Right,
people our age. People,
right,
kind of try to do that later on. But I feel
right,
like the younger I am, the easier it is for me to
right.
connect with them because they got a cousin or brother my age. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Mhm.
they'll listen to me more now than if I come back when I'm 45.
Right. 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 Yeah, I appreciate that, man, because you know, we need it in our community. I think that
Hmm.
one of the stigmas of our community is that once somebody makes it, they don't give back. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, I did what I had to do for self. Everything was so nice. I'm
yeah,
out of here.
yeah.
And I'm always looking to especially when I get to the level where you are. And it's not to say I have to wait because I'm not waiting, but
Yeah, you can start
um,
now.
giving back, always trying to find a way to give back to our community. And not just our community as, a people, but our community as in the DMV.
Hmm.
Some things, should I not say should, but some things just mean more at home. So um I kudos to you for the work
Thank you.
that you constantly do. Yeah, I see it. Um,
Thank you.
and we need it. So I definitely
Thank you.
appreciate that. So with that being said, man, I've gone from purchasing your stuff to now being able to speak with you, have a conversation with you. It has been
Thank you for the
amazing.
support.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. I'm gonna send you one of my shirts. Mine not so colorful though.
Oh, it's all good. I'm a simple guy sometimes. Sometimes I
Yeah,
just do the regular colors.
yeah. Told you I'm a little, plain a little bit, but it works. It works because you got swag. It don't matter.
Yeah,
So,
people like playing though, because whenever I make something something that's like my style or
hmm
something that I want to wear, it don't really sell that well.
I've learned
When I
that.
make something like basic to me,
hmm
man, they love it.
Yeah,
People
I've
love it.
learned that. My logo that I have was not even the logo that I chose. I didn't love it.
It was the one that was working.
It was the one that worked. I gave it out
Yeah,
to like a couple of people before I released it. And they're like, "Oh my god, this is fire!" And I'm like, "What? Like, what about the one
yeah,
that I like?" I told like, but like, I didn't
yeah,
tell them. I
same way.
really just want to know their opinion. But you're right. Like, anytime I think that something is like, "Nah, Kel, that's doing too much," or "Nah,"
Hmm.
or "Let's do this," that's fire. And then I just release something basic. That's the one where like, "Kel, yeah, that's dope. That's fire." I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
That's when I realized like this brand really is just not about me. I'm just here. I'm just a
yeah,
vessel. You know what I mean?
running it, running the show, ringleader.
Absolutely, man. That's it. So, man, it was a pleasure having you. I look forward to being able to next time probably talk to you about your music career once you get that
Yeah, for
going.
sure,
Once you start
for
dropping that
sure.
out, man. But I appreciate you for coming on and telling us your ugly truth. I look forward to having you back. We're gonna have hopefully when you come to the city, come back home, we can do it like live or something like that. But man, I
Oh yeah, that's
appreciate
cool.
everything that you continue to do for the community and your growth, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. So
Thank you.
um
You keep it up too. You know what I'm
absolutely I
saying?
appreciate you, King.
I love the start. You know what I'm saying? I love that you out here trying and doing it, and shit. I hopefully you can get bigger guests than me.
Man, I appreciate
Mm.
that. I appreciate that. If I do, I'm bringing you with me. Let's do that.
All right, bet.
Let's do
Appreciate
that.
it.
This is another episode of The.Ugly Truth. You guys got to hear the ugly truth of the owner of Eat. It's a DMV brand. So y'all, we on the map. Okay. We always been on the map. We gonna
Hmm.
stay on the map. So put some respect on our name, man. Put some respect on it.
We the star.
Anyway,
We the star on the map. We the
we are,
capital
man.
city.
Right. Hey, that's what we the star on the map. Y'all heard what he said. Leek, thank you so much for joining, man. Once again, the Ugly Truth podcast is sponsored by The Ugly Brand. Go ahead and get your gear at theuglybrand.com. And I need you guys to go ahead and go to Leek's website. What's your website, bro?
AllHomage.com.
AllHomage.com.
AllHomage.
AllHomage.com. Look, if you can't spell it, get your behind online and make sure you get it right. Google will pull it up. I guarantee you probably be the
Yeah,
first
just
site to
put in
come
e
up.
clothing. Google e clothing.
There it is. There it is. Go ahead and get you guys some gear, man. Go if you wear your stuff, tag them, tell them Kel sent you, all right? Look, I love you
Hmm.
guys. I appreciate you guys. Another episode of the Ugly Truth podcast in the books. Peace.